with the Black Lives Matter UK and US and the global movement that's been happening, the exposure is something that we've never seen before, ever. And everyone has been talking about it. But Black people, especially Black influencers and celebrities, are now being called out for being quote unquote silent on their social media. So I wanted to ask you guys, how important is it that members of the Black community speak out on social media about these topics? Linda, what do you think about that?
Oh, girl, now you know I think it's very important. The thing about this is, I think if you're a person who has a platform, it is your duty as someone who is living this. You're not just someone who has potentially heard about it or someone who knows someone it's happened to. You are a Black person. You are someone who is living this situation. You are living everything that's being discussed. It is so important that you use your outlet. Don't get twisted. I know that, you know, it's not all about posting. And some people may not be posting, but maybe doing things behind the scenes. And I suppose the world we're living in, if you don't see it, it never happened, innit? So I still think it's important as a Black person who has any kind of platform. You need, imagine, okay, for me, am I just going to stay silent? Have my whole Instagram, oh, hey, turn up when everything is happening. No, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, sorry, I don't even know if I introduced myself. I'm Sophie. So yeah, I'm Sophie and I'm on here repping. I was really angry in the beginning. I was really angry in the beginning because I had a lot of family and friends who weren't posting. So people who are Black by descent or mixed race or celebrities or influencers, I'm like, and you know, when Rihanna said a little while ago, people need to pull up. Like people need to pull up because, you know, if you are friends with someone Black, then you know what, you need to be riding for this issue as well. So I was really upset about it. But then I read an article, I don't know if you ladies saw it, it was by Yomi Adegoke. She wrote for British Vogue, and she talked about this whole idea of receipts. Like, you know, we always talk about, do you have receipts? Like, do you have the proof? Like, you met Drake, where's the receipts? Do you have a picture? Where's the proof? And this whole idea that we need to now do that on social media. Like, I need to prove that I stand with Black Lives Matters. I need to prove that I support Blackout Tuesday. And she just really talked about how that can put a lot of pressure on people when a lot of people just don't know what to say.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sophie, because like, just even speaking personally for myself, since this has all started, I mean, I had taken a social media break before all of this started, and then I came back in the throes of it and I was like, whoa.
Girl.
And so I have decided to like not continue with my break from social media, but I've been very selective of going in and out of it. So I may not be posting as the average Black person is, and so you don't really see much on my social media, but you're not seeing anything at all. And that's because I'm choosing to fight in a different way. And so I'm out there doing the actions versus being on social media. So for me, it's not like I'm not going to nail anyone to the cross if they're not posting on social media, but I will have something to say if you're not doing anything at all, because I just feel like as a Black community, well, I don't want to speak for the whole community, but I'm just saying, like, we have just spent so much time talking. We've spent so much time talking. For me now, it's like, okay, let's done with the talking. We actually have to have some action now. So, but at the same time, I understand we're living in a hyper-visible society. So if I can't see what you're doing, then I'm going to be like, hey, why aren't you doing it? So I understand the balance of it. So that's what it's like for me. I understand that it's important to show people that you do support, because, you know, that can have a domino effect for others who aren't engaging in it. At the same time, your actions matter more to me. So I'm on the line.
But that's the thing, Anissa, like, it's like so for example, like Ashley Walters, you know, he's the actor on Top Boy. He was in So Solid Crew. Like, he posted a video very angry. Like, he actually started to cry because people had called him out and were saying, you haven't said anything. And he's just like, a lot of you wouldn't even be in this industry if it wasn't for me. Like, he's been paving the way for years. And he's like, because I don't post, now suddenly I'm not down for Black Lives Matters. Like, and I think that's where we start to come into issue. J. Cole got called out for it, and then they saw him at a protest. It's just like, social media is not the be all and end all of whether
that's what
I'm down for my people.
100%. This is how I feel like from these past couple of weeks, because it has been such like so exposed, it's been so massive that people are like, oh well, you haven't said anything, why not? we've been talking about it. And for Black people, we've been living it. I think personally, yeah, exactly, our whole lives and our ancestors before that. I don't feel like Black celebrities and Black people with influence, I don't feel like they need to say anything. Like, it's not on them, because I feel like it perpetuates the narrative that racism is a problem for Black people to solve, when racism is not Black people's problems.
Yeah.
Like, Black people are victims of racism. It's not our issue to solve. If racism could have been solved with Black people's voices, don't you think we would have figured this out?
It would have been gone. It would have been done.
You know what I mean? So the idea that people aren't riding for Black lives just because you haven't hashtagged it on Twitter is ridiculous. Like, as much as I hate performative allyship from non-Black people, I also don't feel like Black people then need to be performing their grief for the internet.
But
Like, why?
Just to throw a spanner in the works. But, sorry. For example, our influencers are celebrities who aren't Black, but they profit a lot from the Black community.
Yeah.
Then there's a different kind of weight put on them, that they need to be hyper visible in showing that they are supporting the Black community. So their social media posts, people are looking more to them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't have a problem with that. I feel like you absolutely need to be doing that, because like I said, like, you know, when people say silence is compliance, but it is white silence that is compliance. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I said, like, Black voices alone can't be changing the tide. If you are a person, especially one who's been benefiting from Black culture, especially one who's made your careers off of off of like music or whatever it is, like, I feel like you do, because you reach a wider audience. People, I remember this one conversation that I was having with a white male, and I was trying to explain my point to him, and it was about racism. Two white friends walked past me, and both of them who I know are allies. So I said, sorry, sis. Sorry, bro. Please explain. I had been talking to this white male for 20 minutes. They said what I had been saying for 20 minutes in 2 seconds. He was like, he considered it. You don't consider, do you know what I mean? You're not going to consider it coming out of my mouth. Like, if you already valued me, we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with.
But
you know
what? I agree and I disagree with that, because I believe, look, silence kind of is compliance.
I thought you said science, girl.
I did. I said science, but I meant silence. Silence is compliance, but I would disagree in saying it's only when it's white people, because Dave Chappelle released this video. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's called 8:40.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
So he is basically talking about, it's kind of like a little Netflix special that he filmed, and it's just a segment where he's specifically talking about George Floyd, Black Lives Movement, and the protest. And he said he was seeing a lot of Black people getting called out, saying, you're not supporting. And he was just like, somebody better call Dave Chappelle's name, because he was like, I'm ready for them. But then he said, he then realized why they're calling him out, because he's like, people respect my opinion.
Exactly.
People want to hear what I have to say. So whereas he was just like, I don't feel like I need to add to the discourse. There's enough people speaking. We're protesting. You hear our voices. The point is, he's like, people respect my opinion and listen to it. Therefore, I'm going to say something. So when you do have a platform, for me, I don't think it's your responsibility, but when Beyonce speaks out, people listen.
Exactly. I think it is a responsibility.
Every time she posts, she gets millions of supporters. So there is something in those people speaking up.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is, like, not all Black people are going to be on the same page. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes Black people speak up, and you guys, like, they just set us back by 30 plus years because for real, because, you know, I mean, again, another story time, but this one time I was talking about Black History Month, and my white friend was telling me how, there shouldn't be a Black History Month because it should just be integrated in all history teachers and blah blah blah. And I'm like, we agree with you, but we agree, but it ain't. Do you know what I mean? But it is not. And they were like, as I was speaking, she was like, getting up this little video. She got up a video of Morgan Freeman talking about how there shouldn't be Black History Month. And then she just points it to me and like, well, this Black man says this, so therefore, and you're acting like, you know what I mean, globally, like black people are the global majority.
Yeah.
We aren't all on the same page about everything.
100%.
And an example of that is, you know, the conservative Candace Owens.
Oh,
White people are like right-wing, like white people are
Republican
loving
Americans,
Candace right
yeah,
now.
right-wing Republican Americans.
They are loving Candace right now,
But here's the thing.
giving her all the excuses they needed not to support the movement in the first place.
But I think that's the reason why people with a platform should speak up, because at the end of the day, I think with great power comes great responsibility. And you have people who follow you who may not even realize that racism is a thing until you've said it. We forget how important each individual voice is. Like, I've had conversations with 3 non-black people who have been like, what's your experience? Because up until the point that I'd spoken to them, and these aren't people who see me as any Beyonce. These are just people that see me as a human, but you know what I mean? But they better. But these people that see me as a normal person. I am Beyonce. But, you know, these people who just see me as a normal person and have actually been like, talk to me. So I never realized this was a thing. And you're a person that I know. What has it been like for you? So I think that is why, and yes, not every black person is going to be... We know historically that not all of us have been on the same note. This is period, point blank. But if you have a platform, you have influence, and that influence should be used. So if you're a black person, and don't get it twisted, end of the day, fundamentally, how would we know someone is doing something? So for example, let's say I have 100K followers, yeah? As me, Linda, black girl, right? Linda is black girl. But you guys don't see me post a single thing about Black Lives Matter. You see me posting up new garms, #ad. You see me posting up, hey, waiting for, you know, I'm working out, post, whatever. You see all of that. How would you guys know that I'm for the cause without seeing something from me?
It's a
I don't have to ask.
Yeah.
Point. Like, and I think there's obviously been people who I believe have been doing things in the background, and what they've done is taken the time to not post anything. So they're like, I'm not going to post about my makeup. I'm not going to post about me taking my dog on a walk. I'm just going to have a bit of radio silence. And I think that is a good point. And I think that's why it's such a fine line between posting and not posting. And what does that mean? Because what about the celebrities who do speak up? Like John Boyega spoke up. And
my God.
To him. He didn't back down. He went to the protest, and he was just like, you know what? I know I might not work again after this. And I'm just like, that's not a joke.
That's
like,
real.
We're asking them to speak up. Are we going to line their pockets when no one's calling them anymore? Like, are we going to be paying Colin Kaepernick, who was doing the most peaceful protest, kneeling at the games and not when it was a national anthem for the NFL in America, he got kicked out of the NFL. And hasn't got a job back since, because he was just like, I'm going to talk and I'm going to ride and die for the cause. And I know it's going to come at a personal cost to me, but this needs to be done. And when we're asking celebrities to speak up, we need to be very mindful of what we're asking them to do. We're asking you to threaten your livelihood, threaten your children putting food on the table. So I can understand when some people don't want to. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand it.
But with Kaepernick, Nike have been paying him a salary in secret. Just
really?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have.
He can't do the job that he loves.
I know. I'm not saying, but at the end of the day, guys, we have to sacrifice something. Do you think our ancestors weren't sacrificing for civil rights? Like,
it's true. It's true.
And don't get it twisted. It's a scary concept. And even as I'm saying it to you, I'm thinking, wow, what am I sacrificing by even saying this? But without sacrifice, there ain't going to be change. And you know what? It's all about economics. Here's the thing. What you said about, are we going to support John Boyega? Listen, my boyfriend was saying it, yeah? When his next film comes out, it can be him talking to a lamppost. I'm going to cinema to watch that film. I know it's so true.
I've been doing that.
John just got a Netflix deal yesterday.
No, that deal was before. That's the thing. People are announcing it now, but that deal actually came before.
Tell me the deal.
We all need to support that. Stream it all day and night on Netflix. That is what we'll be. Keep it running. Netflix keep
with Steve Kaepernick as well, right? If there were black people that owned teams in that league, please know they would be employing him. But we don't have enough socio-economic power in certain avenues.
You know what? I don't know if I agree with that, because whereas there might be teams that might be owned by a black person, the NFL in itself is the powers that be are white, and
that's what she's saying.
they're linked to Trump and stuff like that. So, but I'm saying if there was let's say, for example, in terms of football, if Tottenham's owned by somebody who's black, they might not go against the Premiership because they're like, actually,
there are black people
everybody else has the power, and one black team going out against the grain isn't really going to be able to stand up.
But I don't just mean a black person owning a team, not just the team.
Yeah, you mean the institution.
Institutions in the superior ranks of the NFL. This wouldn't be lacking. This wouldn't be going like this.
For real. Listen, guys.
That's why I 100% give it up to activists who are out there sacrificing and doing the work, because it's not easy. Like, it's been going on for a couple of weeks and I found it draining. Like, sometimes I can't go online. I can't post. Emotionally, it's a lot. And there are people who make this their full-time work on behalf of us who are making these sacrifices. So I just wanted to say that. And people like Candice Owen, who says stuff like, do you know what, if you don't want to get in trouble with the law, then don't be a criminal.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just like, maybe not everyone can be on their platform.
Okay. Candice is not, she's not for me. I think like her main point when she was doing that video, she kept talking about George Floyd's criminal record. And I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances. But I'm like, babes, you believe in MAGA, you'd be wearing that Make America Great Again cap. You believe in Trump, who had like 20 plus women saying that he's done something non-consensual with them in the 70s, had his own wife accusing him of rape in 1989 and was on trial for rape and was exposed for saying he can do anything for women during his presidential campaign. So you're not going to be able to convince me about criminality.
Allegedly,
your president's a criminal.
I don't know if he's ever been convicted. Let's just make that clear.
But no, I didn't say that he's been convicted, but the fact that you're
just want to throw it.
Like, be protected us from a lawsuit.